So grab your phone. Good, now turn it around. You see that little dot between the camera and the flash? That's a tiny microphone. Bet that's something you didn't know. What's it doing there? Well, when you're on a phone call, this little guy is busy at work reducing the amount of background noise other people hear when you talk. That's right, if it wasn't for this, calls wouldn't be as nearly as crisp as they are now. You're lost in the woods and you're rushing to get back to camp. You suddenly remember you've got something that can help. You grab one of your chest straps from your backpack and whistle on it. Yup, that's right. A lot of bags have this feature in them, especially the ones made for the outdoors. It isn't long before you hear the call of one of your friends and you follow them back to the warm campfire, saved by this cool bit of design. If you're a curious person, you might have wondered what that little pocket in your jeans is doing there. You know, the one that's inside the bigger pocket? People often use it to store coins and bills, but it's not meant for that. It's actually designed to store your pocket watch safely. Ah, maybe that's where the name pocket watch comes from. You finally arrive home after a long day's work. You understandably don't feel like cooking, so you sit on the couch and watch a bit of TV and order some takeout. How about Chinese? Ah, perfect. There's the doorbell. That has to be your food. It smells delicious. Wait, before you grab the plates, do this instead. Open your Chinese food container on the table. It becomes the perfect plate, and it's cardboard, which means no cleaning either. The can of soda you got with your food has a cool feature too. Look at the tiny metal tab there, the one you use to open the can. Guess what? You can fit your straw in there. In fact, that's exactly what they're made for. Go ahead, try it for yourself. If you're not at your computer, take a look at your keyboard right now. If you're not, that's okay. Here's one on the screen. The keycaps are arranged in what's called the QWERTY layout, named after the first 6 keycaps below the numbers. As it turns out, it wasn't always this way. They used to be laid out alphabetically, which would make more sense when you think about it. The alphabetical layout fell out of use because long ago there were things called typewriters. Remember those? You press down a key and a type bar would fly out, hitting an inked ribbon and stamping a letter on the piece of paper. Eventually, typists got good at this and typed faster. Too fast. The type bars would eventually get caught in a log jam with each other, ruining the flow. To fix this problem, they made keyboards with randomized keycaps. The new layout actually worked better because it made typing harder, helping to slow typists down and prevent the type bars from getting stuck. Much better. Today, no type bars, no typewriters, mostly. People are still fast nowadays, but you just can't help but wonder who is faster though, us or them. Keyboards have another hidden feature too. Have you ever noticed that the F keycap and the J keycap have little bumps on the bottom of them? As it turns out, they're there to help people figure out where they are on the keyboard without having to take their eyes off the screen. Grabbing a takeaway cup of coffee at your favorite cafe might be just what you need to fully wake up in the mornings. When you get back home or to work, though, you might be afraid to stain your desk when you put the steaming hot coffee down. Worry not, your plastic lid isn't only good for keeping your coffee hot, it also doubles as a coaster. In fact, they're the perfect size to hold a cup. Try it for yourself. This one's going to come in handy if you're a home cook. If you're like me, you might have a bit of trouble deciding how much pasta you need for just one serving. Well, if you've got a pasta scoop, grab that. Most people don't know what the little hole in the middle is for and assume it's supposed to help with water drainage or something. It turns out that it helps you measure out a perfect serving. Just see how much dry spaghetti you can fit in the hole and use that as one portion. Out at the store buying coat hangers, you might notice that the plastic ones feel cheaper than the wooden ones. There's a good reason for this. Wooden hangers are made out of cedar wood. The big difference between the two is that the wooden ones repel bugs and moths. They're stronger and last longer too, perfect for things that might stay in your closet for a long time. When you brush your teeth, you might have noticed that your toothbrush has blue bristles. They're not just there for show. In fact, they're there to tell you when it might be time to switch toothbrushes. These bristles lose their strength and color when the brush has been worn down, letting you know that it's time to get rid of it. Microwaves often look a bit like mini TVs, especially ones where you can clearly see the black film around them. This is actually a really important feature that's used to keep the radiation from slipping away. They're called Faraday cages, if you want to get technical. This is why you can stand next to a microwave without melting into a puddle. That's not to say you should stand in front of the microwave and watch your food heat up, but at least you know you won't grow an extra ear or something. Okay, not really. Some ovens have a drawer under them. It's tempting to use this to store random junk you don't use often, but there's a better use for it. Instead, this should be used to help keep the food that's waiting to be served hot. You can take it out of the oven and store it right in this drawer, keeping your oven free for you to carry on cooking. Now, you're on a plane looking around trying to pass the time before takeoff. When you examine the window, you notice it has a little, very tiny hole on its bottom. Don't worry, it's not broken. It's there to relieve the pressure that builds up over time as the plane goes up and down. It also lets the air flow through it. Now, raise your hand if you've ever ridden on an escalator and scrubbed your shoes on its bristles. Hey, I'm guilty of doing that, maybe more than I should. It's not there to clean your shoes, though. It's an important safety measure. It stops your shoelaces, clothing, and other stuff from getting stuck in there, avoiding a nasty scene when you go to get off. Sometimes a piece of fabric comes with your new clothing. It usually comes along with the extra buttons in a little plastic bag. You might think it's just a piece of fabric to use for future patching, in case you rip it. But that isn't its purpose at all. It's actually supposed to be put in the washing machine to test how it reacts to various washings. Now, you don't have to worry about shrinking your new, expensive coat because you know how it'll react to the wash. Bubbles! Who doesn't love bubbles? Most people have fond memories with bubble blowers as a kid. But as adults, the closest thing we can get to recapturing that feeling is with bubble baths. After a hard day at work, there's nothing better than dipping into a nice warm bubble bath. Right, guys? And the bubbles do more than just clean you. If they're high-quality bubbles, they'll serve as a heat insulator, so they make sure that your bath stays warm for longer. Boxes of chocolate sometimes have these mysterious holes in them. When I'm eating a box, or two, I usually ignore them and take out the chocolate by pressing the bottom of the plastic. But it turns out that I've been doing it wrong the whole time. If you press one of the holes, the chocolate comes right out. I'm certainly going to start doing this from now on. Here's another one from the kitchen. The handle on a pot will often have a hole in it. Most people use this to hang them on a nail on the wall as an easy storage method. The hole has another use too. When you're cooking, you can use this handle to hold your wooden spoon or whatever else you might be cooking with. This makes sure you don't make a mess when you put it down. Glass bottles usually come with a cap in them. Well, duh. Otherwise, the liquid would just spill. In this cap, there's a plastic liner that seemingly has no purpose, right? Wrong. It's a seal. No, not a seal. A seal. It's the kind that helps keep your drink fizzy. Just the refreshment I needed. A lot of doorknobs are made out of brass, and it's not by chance. They're made out of this specific material because it's bacteria's worst enemy. That's right, it destroys them. Perfect for those who want to keep a clean house and avoid germs. Hey, you want a fish? Have a good look at the front of your sweatshirt. Okay, let's ignore the pizza stains for now. Ever notice that V shape right at the bottom of the collar? That small V-patch isn't just a decoration, it serves more than one purpose. Made from a double layer of webbing material, just like waistbands and cuffs, these inserts allowed the wearer to put on the sweater without losing any shape over time. As the sweatshirt would be pulled down over the head, the V insert would stretch and flex to allow a lot of wiggle room. The other benefit the V pattern gives is to absorb all that sweat. The chest is a major area of perspiring. Just look at soaked shirts after doing something physical. Although the V insert can only take so much. That extra pocket on the right side of a suit jacket is called the ticket pocket. They used to store coins for people on horseback to pay toll booths without opening their jackets. When train travel became more popular, they were perfect for tickets and passes. As for the left chest pocket, it's used to store handkerchiefs, keeping them away from the other cluttered and dirty pockets. Metallic zippers have a hidden lock built in. Next time you've put on a pair of pants, shorts, or skirt, never leave the zipper handle in an upward position. Push the little zipper tab downwards and it'll automatically lock. To mute your annoying beeping microwave, look closely at the front panel for a sound button. It may have been there all along, just begging to be pressed. If there's no button, try pressing and holding 1, 0, stop, or cancel. Will either result in turning off the beeping sounds or activating a lock feature. Of course, if your microwave doesn't have any mute function at all, you'll just have to keep running to stop the timer late at night. Nintendo Switch cartridges have a hidden safety function, and it's going to leave a bad taste in your mouth. Although non-toxic, denatonium benzoate coats the cartridge in a sour, peppery, and bitter substance to prevent kiddos from swallowing them. This chemical compound is one of the most bitter flavors known to humanity, commonly used to keep people from consuming things they're not meant to. There's not much privacy while using a public toilet, especially when the door doesn't reach the floor at all. But these gaps are there for emergency access, in case the person inside needs immediate help. The gap also works for ventilation, thank goodness, and to stop people from lingering around the toilet too long. Toothpicks have a built-in holder to prevent you from just leaving them on the table. Just break off the top, it's that simple. Place that on your table and your toothpick between the notches, pointy end up of course. Now it won't touch the table and get all dirty. You can do the same with disposable chopsticks. Break off the top piece before you pull them apart. Those tiny dimples on golf balls actually give a greater lift to the ball and reduce air resistance, meaning the ball can go further with them. These dimples come in spherical and hexagonal shapes, with each slightest change affecting the ball's performance, so choose them carefully. Plastic wrap boxes have hidden little holders that stop the roll from jumping out of the box. They're little cardboard tabs on the sides that lock into the tube inside while making it easy to glide the film out. Just push them in and never be frustrated again. Gosh, I wish that would work with other stuff. The 7 spikes on top of the Statue of Liberty's crown don't represent the 7 seas and the 7 continents at all. They're representing the sun's rays, giving a halo to show that she is divine. In the United States, 12 different Federal Reserve banks print all the money. So if you want to know where your money comes from, just look for these small codes. A1 Boston, B2 New York, C3 Philadelphia, D4 Cleveland, E5 Richmond, F6 Atlanta, G7 Chicago, H8 St. Louis, I9 Minneapolis, J10 Kansas City, K11 Big D Little A Double LAS. It's a song. L12 San Francisco. Never call it Frisco. Meanwhile, the bristles on the side of every escalator are in place to encourage people to stay away from the edge, meaning they're less likely to face a mishap with a trapped bag or shoelace. Did you hear about the octopus caught on the escalator? It was a stretch. Old-fashioned pincushions that are large tomato with a strawberry attached are more than a place for your needles. The strawberry contains an emery board. When you stick your pins and needles into the strawberry, the emery board keeps them rust-free and sharpens them as well. Some people still forget to engage the hose from their car after filling up with gas. Luckily, a lot of gas companies realize this, so if you happen to drive off with the hose still attached to your car, there's a magnetic connector that disengages when pulled. Those different colored bread tags use a color-coded system to show the day that they were baked. They are usually blue tags for Mondays, green tags for Tuesdays, red tags Thursdays, white tags Fridays, and yellow tags for Saturdays. On the back of most beauty products, you'll find a small symbol on the back that indicates how long it'll stay good for. For example, 2M means 2 months after opening. Some jackets have those extra flaps with a button on the shoulder, and they actually have a use. These are perfectly designed for holding your purse, backpack, or bag in place and secure. Pom-poms on the top of beanies were never just a fashion statement. They were for protection, placed on top of the headwear to protect sailors from accidentally hitting their heads while moving around on a ship. Pom-poms touch the roof, so don't go any higher. They don't appear on every type of measuring tape, but diamonds or black circles are there to help contractors measure the proper placement of studs in a wall. Those little holes on your baseball cap aren't some fashion trends that stuck around for years and have never been changed. These holes are actually called eyelets, and they're to keep your head well ventilated, not for appearance. If you have YKK printed on your zipper, they're not some secret code to be cracked. Those 3 letters appear on so many zippers globally because they're the symbol of the world's most universal zipper manufacturer, the YKK Group. Every can of soda comes with a tab for easy opening of the tasty beverage, and every single one of them has a relatively large hole in the top. While it can make it easier to get your finger under the tab to get your soda, its intended purpose is a straw holder. Spin the tab over the opening and place your straw through it to secure it in. Disposable lids do a great job of keeping your drink inside the cup, but that's not its only purpose. When you're ready to sip on your drink, the lid has specially designed ridges to double it as a coaster and hold onto the bottom of your beverage tightly. The tiny black dot between the lens and the flash on the back of your iPhone is actually for a great purpose. It's the third microphone to provide superior sound quality by eliminating background noises and to pick up your voice much clearer in a crowded environment. Gas cans that have 2 holes with caps aren't there to fill different-sized equipment. The second hole is meant to be uncapped before you pour your gas to prevent that glugging effect. By allowing more airflow through, the smoother the gas will pour out. That little arrow next to the gas symbol on your car's dashboard shows you which side your gas tank is on. It'll help you when you go fill up your gas tank, especially if you're borrowing a different car than your own. Look at a check and see MP near the signature line. That means the check printer used microprint as one of the check security features. The lines look like a regular line to the untrained eye, but they're words like the bank's name, authorized signature, United States government, or even original document. That little disc that's underneath bottles isn't just a leftover part of the production process. It creates an even tighter seal with the lid. So even if the bottle was turned upside down, the liquid doesn't leak out everywhere. The plastic disc keeps carbonated sodas carbonated for longer with this seal. The indent in the bottom of wine bottles is called a punt. But it's not just something to help you hold on to the bottle. The punt makes the wine bottle stronger, so if dropped, the cork won't fly across the room with all that pressure. So you can wash your hands as much as you want, but you're never going to get that garlic or onion smell off your hands. The smell of certain foods sticks to you because they release acidic molecules when you break them open. Washing your hands will help clean the food off you, but it doesn't do anything to remove the odor itself. Water on its own can actually make the issue even worse because it reacts with the molecules to make the smell stronger. It turns out that the best way to get rid of these smells is to rub your hands against your pots and pans, cutlery, and baking trays. As long as they're made of stainless steel, that is. This is so good at removing smells that someone even invented stainless steel soap. Trying to squeeze all of the juice out of a lemon without a strainer can be messy work. Instead of using your hands, try using some tongs. Place a lemon between the tongs and squeeze it. You'll definitely get a lot more juice with much less effort. Lint rollers were originally designed to remove tiny fibers from things like upholstery and clothing. But you can also use them to keep your silverware shiny and clean. The dishwasher might thoroughly rinse and clean your utensils, but that doesn't help much if the place you store them is dirty. If you want to remove the dirt from the utensil tray, you don't have to take the whole thing out of the drawer. Simply take your sticky lint roller and put it into each compartment, and ta-da! The crumbs and dirt are all gone. Lost your earring back? Take a small piece of pencil eraser and stick your earring in it. That'll keep it in place. Soda cans come with that little tab you use to open your drink. You know that hole in the top of the tab? It doesn't just make opening the can easier, it's also designed to hold your straw. It has more uses too. If you want to hang a picture up on a wall, but it doesn't have a wire or hanger, you can use a soda can tab for that too. You're having a coffee to go. It usually comes with that lid so you can close your drink, but you can also use it as a coaster. Take it off, turn it upside down, place it under your cup, and you'll never leave a mark on a table again. If you don't know how much spaghetti to have for dinner, there's an easy way to measure out a portion with a spaghetti spoon. The base of the spoon has a hole so you can drain water out, but it can also be used to measure how much pasta you should cook. Whatever fits in the spoon's hole is 1 serving of pasta. You opened applesauce and don't have a spoon with you. No need to buy one. Just take the lid, twist the end to make a handle, and use the other end as a scoop. Your little spoon is ready. Once your tissue box is empty, you don't have to throw it away. It's a great shape to store things in. Maybe you can never seem to remember where you keep your plastic bags. If you put them in an empty tissue box, you'll always know where they are. Binder clips are great little things to carry around with you when you want to leave the house carrying as few things as possible. Link one together with your keys, and you can just clip bills to it. With one of these, you'll never need to carry a wallet or purse around with you again. If you don't have a computer duster or something specifically designed to clean your keyboard, just use a cotton swab. Lightly moisten it with disinfectant and wipe between the keys once or twice a week. You may notice lots of boots have those loops sticking out on the back. Their main purpose is to help you pull your shoes on easier. Just pull it up as you push your heel into the boot. It has another handy use too. You can use it to hang your boots on a hook when they're dirty or when you want to dry them after washing. You can also run your laces through the loop if you're tying them around your ankles. It can be irritating when you buy shoes you like and then realize they're really slippery. No worries, just take a bit of sandpaper and rub it on the soles for better traction. Now they're more grippy. You could even wear them out in the rain. Okay, I admit it, I used to believe that the rougher end of the two-tone eraser was there to erase ink. The truth is that the darker side, which is usually blue or gray, can erase pencil from more delicate paper. This type of paper is usually only used by artists, so most people don't know about it. That's not all erasers can do though. They can polish your jewelry, clean electronics, and even remove that annoying residue from stickers. It can also clean scuffed up suede and dirt you might have on your walls. Uh-oh, your zipper got stuck again, and you're late. Who has time to deal with that now? Well, wax paper does. Try rubbing it on the stuck zipper, and it should loosen. Can openers can do so much more than the name suggests. For instance, they can help out with those frustrating, hard plastic packages. Arrgh! You don't have to wrestle with scissors anymore. Just take a regular can opener, run it along the edge of some packaging, and enjoy never struggling to open anything again. Now, here's a top secret. Shh! WD-40 can completely remove gum from the soles of your shoes. It removes stickers, labels, and even crayon marks from walls. You could also use it to untangle your necklaces and loosen a ring if it gets stuck on your finger. Surprise! Now your earphones have a new holder. Neatly rolling them up in a Kinder Egg is a cool way to stop them from getting tangled. Hopefully. Doorknobs are mostly made of brass, and that's not a coincidence. Sure, it has a nice golden shine to a room, but it actually has a practical reason too. Brass is generally durable and, most importantly, resistant to all the moisture and oils on human hands. It's also antibacterial, so brass doorknobs actually help to keep your house more hygienic. Wooden hangers look fancier and more elegant than those plastic ones, but that's not the only reason they're more expensive. They're actually made of cedar, which is a special type of wood that repels bugs. Speaking of the wardrobe, putting a soap bar inside will leave a refreshing scent on your clothes. Nail polish is not only for beauty treatments. Thanks to its adhesive and waterproofing abilities, it's great if you need to make a protective seal or stick some things together. No more licking envelopes, the nail polish is here. It can also keep your glasses frames tighter, fix a run in your stockings, guys, or take care of the fraying ends of the shoelaces. You get a small silica gel packet every time you buy a new pair of shoes. You should keep them because silica gel is excellent at absorbing moisture out of the environment. It can be used for much more than just shoes though. You know how everyone says if your phone is wet, you need to put it in a jar with some rice? The rice is supposed to draw the water out, but silica is even better when it comes to absorbing moisture. You can also put silica packets in your gym bag to stop any bad smells from building up. Make sure to always be careful with silica gel though. The warning label clearly says you shouldn't eat it because it contains toxic additives. You're writing an essay on your computer. Almost done? Oh no, the internet's gone. No problem, there's an easy way to use up some time. If you use Google Chrome, you'll see a little T-Rex show up in your browser, right next to No Internet. When this fellow appears, just press the Up key on the keyboard and you'll start a platformer minigame. You need to help the T-Rex run around without hitting any cactuses on its way. Okay, connection, no need for you to come back. I've got some records to break. We all know what a thermos is for, but it wasn't actually invented to keep your coffee warm. It was made by a Scottish scientist who just wanted a safe place to keep his chemicals at a stable temperature. So he took 2 bottles, put the smaller one inside the bigger bottle, and vacuumed out the air between them. Ah, thank you for helping me keep my coffee warm. Think you're ready to see the world in a whole new way? I hope so, because I'm about to blow your mind. Have you ever noticed those plastic lines along the side of your phone? They're the oddly spaced stripes that seem to have no purpose. In reality, though, they're probably your phone's most important feature, because without them, your device would be little more than a smart paperweight. They are antenna lines, allowing your phone to remain wireless. Electromagnetic waves carrying phone, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi signals cannot pass through metal, which makes up most of the phone's outer case. And the glass panel up front also slows those waves down. It's like there's a bouncer at the door, refusing to let most signals in or out of the phone. Hey, I've been to that nightclub. Anyway, that means no phone calls, no text, and no late-night delivery when you have nothing in the fridge except 1 egg and something that might have once been lasagna. Those little strips of plastic allow the same electromagnetic waves to come and go as they please. This is why you can call a friend, order a ride, or play an online matching game until 3 in the morning. Hey, don't you have to get up early for work? When you do finally stumble out of bed, make sure you're using this next item correctly to avoid a potentially upsetting situation. The zipper, originally patented as the clasp locker in 1851, didn't become widely used until the 1930s. Now they're on everything, from bags to jackets to jeans. And they're not perfect. They get stuck. They pinch the skin. And we all know what happens if the zipper on our pants refuses to stay up. Well, luckily, this can be avoided. Most zippers have a locking mechanism built right in. When the zip is facing down and flat against the teeth, the lock is engaged and the zipper remains closed. If only I had known that back in school. What about those metal rivets most jeans have? They're more than a design choice. They were added to protect areas that experience the most strain, such as pocket corners and the base of the fly. The rivets hold the fabric together, even when it's being stretched and pulled during work. And since we're talking about clothing, have you ever wondered about that tiny 5th pocket at the front of your jeans? Well, first of all, it isn't really a 5th pocket. Originally, jeans were made with 4 pockets, including that little one in front. The 5th pocket is actually the one on the back left, which was only added to jeans in 1901. The little pocket, though, was important a long time ago. Cowboys needed to keep their pocket watches safe while riding out on the range. Yeehaw! That pocket kept the watches protected but also handy. And then people became so used to it that jeans just look weird without one. Another strange holdout from a bygone day is that stitched V on the front of some sweatshirts. What if I told you that those exact stitches hold the whole shirt together? Well, then I would be lying, and I never do that. But back in the 1940s, this V was very useful. First, the V stitch was initially used to add a patch of stretchy rib fabric to the shirt so that it could fit over our big heads more easily. Secondly, these shirts were specifically designed for sports, so the V included an additional piece of fabric to absorb the sweat that would build up during a game or a workout. As stretchy fabric became readily available and better at handling perspiration, the V lost its traditional value. But, like the tiny jean pocket, it has continued as a decorative feature, a reminder of our big-headed ancestors who apparently only sweated just below the chin. But moving on. One place you won't find many people sweating is the golf course. You will see quite a few fashion disasters, sure, but sweat? Not so much. Golf was invented around the 16th century in Scotland. Back then, the ball was perfectly round and smooth. Over time, the ball would become dented from use, and at some point, golfers discovered that these imperfections actually help the ball fly farther. Dimples were added on purpose in the 1900s, when it was found out that they reduced the aerodynamic drag that slowed down a smoother ball, and the dimples made the balls easier to control. And no, not all golf balls are created equal. The number of dimples can range from 300 to 500, with one company producing a ball with over 1,000 little dents. Wow, a little overboard, eh? Need a quick, refreshing drink after a round of golf? Juice boxes, created back in 1963, are very convenient. But why do they have these large triangular flaps on top? Their lifted flaps act as hand grips. This stops you from accidentally squeezing a full box and spilling juice all over the place, like onto your favorite t-shirt or the new couch. Now, when you're done golfing, grab your backpack with that leather diamond patch with 2 vertical openings. It's commonly referred to as a lash tab, but I much prefer its other name, pig snout. I mean, it certainly looks like one. You typically find these pig snouts on packs used by hikers and climbers. The diamond is a place to tie any extra gear that they need to carry, like boots, cooking equipment, or sleeping bags. But these lash tabs are also becoming more common on smaller backpacks. They're a nod to the past, but just as useful. Attach your running shoes to one next time you head to the gym, keeping those stinky things away from the rest of your clothes. Now, I'm sure you're a great driver, but for years, you've probably been neglecting an important safety feature right in front of your eyes. That rear view mirror has a small tab located at the bottom center. It's high time you started using it. When this is flipped forward, the mirror is in day mode, providing a strong reflection of everything behind the car. Flipping the tab backward changes the whole situation to night mode. This reduces the brightness of the headlights behind you, resulting in a safer drive. Another cool car tip? If you're borrowing from a friend, using a rental, or have the memory of a houseplant, cars feature a handy indicator to let you know which side the gas tank is on. It's a tiny arrow next to the pump icon that points either left or right. Where the arrow points, that's where the gas tank can be found. And that's one less thing you have to remember. Okay, off to the grocery store. A regular shopping cart has a useful feature you might have been overlooking. Carts usually include loops in the metal frame, often behind the child seat. As you bag your groceries, hang the ones with fragile or squishable items, like eggs or bread, on these loops. Now they're out of harm's way when you toss that giant watermelon into the cart. Later, when you're unloading your groceries, do yourself a favor and grab that box of plastic wrap. You know, the one that is impossible to unroll without the whole tube coming out while the plastic wrap sticks to itself. Check out either end of the box, and you'll see small tabs that you are supposed to push in. This helps to hold the roll in place so you can easily pull the plastic wrap out without all the fuss. Aluminum foil boxes also have these tabs. Now that you can finally use that plastic wrap, try this appealing hack. Separate that bunch of bananas and cover each stem in some plastic wrap. The stem releases a gas called ethylene. When it reaches the rest of the banana, it encourages the fruit to ripen and turn black. If you wrap the stems, your bananas will last longer. And since you're in your kitchen, you might as well warm up that coffee from this morning. Just remove the gross skin that is formed on top. Don't eat it. Of course, as you open the microwave, you'll notice that the glass in the door has a strange black mesh inside. This mesh is designed to stop any radiation from passing through the glass. Like the electromagnetic waves we discussed earlier, radiation can't pass through metal. That mesh keeps it all safely inside to help you heat up your food. Thank you, science. Oh, and about that cup of coffee, did you know that the handle size can help you determine how much the mug actually holds? Let your fingers guide you. If you can fit 2 fingers into the handle, then the mug holds 8 ounces or 1 measuring cup of liquid. 3 fingers, 10 ounces or 1 1/4 cups. 4 fingers, 12 ounces or 1 1/2 cups. Pretty cool, huh?